Hi, Nana.
Hi, Mommy.
It's fun that you came home to visit me. I can see you in your little girl room with all your memories behind you. That's exciting.
Dad got me a pink drink this morning.
Well, that was nice. Nothing starts your day like a pink drink from Daddy.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I do have a couple of social media things that have happened lately. Would you like to hear? Hold on, let me pull them up.
You have your notes ready to go?
Yeah, I keep them ready. They're locked and loaded. Okay, the first one, well, I don't want to do that one. Here's one. Don't do this, parents out there. You ready? Last minute ask. My son is a freshman at University of blah, 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 and doesn't know a lot of people there yet. He has to do a 6 or so minute speech on Zoom tonight and needs 3 people to be on the Zoom call at 11 p.m. They just have to wave and ask a question at the end of the speech and flip through the 5 slides. That's the post.
First of all, 11 p.m. is kind of ridiculous. Like, aside from everything else, 11 p.m.
And she's asking for like 11 p.m. that day for her child.
Why can't the child figure it out?
Figure it out. Figure it out. And again, I wonder, did the kid say, Mom, can you help me? Or is the mom just like, I'm taking this into my own hands. You're incapable of doing
Probably
this.
the second one.
That's what I think. That's totally what I think. It's ridiculous. So that's that. Welcome to the Social Dialogue Podcast. We're a mother-daughter team, both working in the world of social media management.
Join us as we share our different perspectives on life today, including trends, fashion, friendships, and career, and how social media impacts it all. Together, we bring 2 perspectives to one conversation.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
And we're excited to bring you this new episode of the Social Dialogue Podcast. Yes.
I had to join on my phone. I don't know why my computer was being weird, but maybe it's because I haven't updated my computer in years.
Maybe.
No, it's...
Okay, I am vlogging my day today. So do you guys mind if I just take like a quick little screen recording and you guys can like wave?
Oh my God, I'd be so honored.
Okay, awesome. Okay, ready? We're rolling. Just wave. Hi guys. Awesome. You guys did perfect.
Thank you. We are so excited that you're here. You have no idea. I mean, it to us, this is huge. It's huge. We're so honored that you wanted to come on.
I'm honored. I've been really wanting to like go on more podcasts, and I saw that you guys had commented on the AEFI Instagram, so I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, for sure. We're both AEFIs. My mother was an AEFI. We both pinned Jenna when she got initiated, which was really fun.
Do you know what's so funny? My mom was an AEFI as well, and she was supposed to pin me, but my pinning ceremony was canceled due to COVID. And do you know, I was initiated on March 12th, 2020.
That's my birthday.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was the day before the world shut down.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so, yeah, we didn't get to have a pinning ceremony. And my mom, when I came home, she was like, I was going to come up to school and surprise you and pin you. But yeah,
That's so
it's
sad.
all.
Yeah. My mom pinned me, and I had no idea that was a thing. And they had kept us up all night. So in the morning, I'm like half asleep, and I don't know what's happening. And I open my eyes, and we're from Kentucky, and I went to school in Florida. And I opened my eyes, and there's my mother. I mean, it was so weird.
Where did you go to school?
I went to University of Florida, and I pledged in 91, and I graduated in 95. Anna?
Awesome.
I'm a senior at Indiana University. So
Nice.
I pledged 2023 because we do winter rush.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, same.
Yeah. So we're so excited that you're here. We're going to start just introducing you to those who don't yet know you. So Jenna, do you want to start by introducing Chloe?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are so excited to have Chloe Hechter on our podcast today. Chloe is a New York-based content creator. She graduated from Syracuse University in May of 2023 with a Bachelor of Science in Communication and Rhetorical Studies and a Bachelor of Arts in Writing. Now she has more than 250,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok. She uses her platform to tell relatable stories about being a 20-something-year-old and creates niche content for the Jewish community. We both found her through her camp and sorority content. So, Chloe Hechter, welcome to the Social Dialogue. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
So we'll just start out. We have like a list of questions for you. So originally, did you set out to become an influencer, or was this a happy accident? We know you have theater training, but was this something you set out to do?
Yeah, it was definitely a happy accident. It was kind of a culmination of me graduating college and trying to figure out how to do what I was good at and also kind of made me happy. So I grew up, I was a child actor. I have like 18 plus years of theater training. And when I was doing theater, the part of it that I was most passionate about was the comedy. And the thing that ultimately I didn't like about theater as a profession was having to compete and audition constantly. It was really bad for my mental health. And also, drama teachers and casting directors would like really want you to be something, and you'd be told, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, you have to do this, you have to do that, when I really always wanted to write my own stuff and control my own narrative and control the roles I played. And I love acting, but I didn't love it in that traditional like theater school setting. And I did my first year at Syracuse in the drama conservatory, which the Syracuse drama program is, I think it's one of like the top 5 college drama programs in the country now. I think it was like, when I started, I think it was like number 8, but I think now it's like number 3. Like, it's a really great drama program. And I could totally be mistaken. Like, I don't know, but I think it's up there. It's a really great program. And I knew I wanted to go to Syracuse because I wanted a school that was also really spirited and had great academics, and where I could join a sorority and where I could make friends outside of that drama circle. And I also definitely wanted like a more fun school with spirit and a campus, because I grew up in the city. I definitely wanted that like classic college campus. And I also chose Syracuse because it does have a very large Jewish population. And I really wanted a school with that. And after a year in the drama program, COVID hit, and I was like, I don't think I want to stand in an audition line for my whole life. I kind of want to write my own source material. So I changed my major to communications, and I felt like I had room in my schedule to pick up a minor. And I love writing. Writing is like my real love. And if I'm going to say I'm good at one thing, it's writing. Writing, I feel like, is my like real talent. I went to declare a minor in writing, and they were like, it's only 2 extra classes to declare a double major. And I was like, why isn't everyone who's minoring in writing doing that? Like, extra degree. So I wound up doing a double major in writing, and I really, really fell in love with the writing department and writing screenplays and long form essays. And I ultimately ended up graduating in this honors writing distinction and writing an almost 200-page thesis. And like, I just really fell in love with it. And at the same time, I ran a magazine at Syracuse called University Girl, which is kind of like the lifestyle and fashion magazine on campus. So that also got me really into short form writing and, fashion and trend forecasting, and also kind of, I guess, influencing the younger girls on campus. Because I ran it my junior and senior years, so there would be freshmen who came in and they would look to me for advice and, dating, what to wear, all of those things. And then my second semester senior year, I was like tired of being editor in chief and I wanted to chill. And so I ran the Instagram account. And I was kind of like, okay, there are like a ton of things that I love to do that I'm good at, but there's not like one job that really fits. And I was applying to jobs, and I graduated without a single job offer, which like broke me. And I think unfortunately it's more common than not now, just the way the market is. But, I was obviously quite discouraged as someone who felt like they worked so hard and was such an overachiever, and I had such imposter syndrome about graduating. I was like, I don't deserve to graduate. I don't even have a job. I don't know what I'm doing. And I worked at Love Shack Fancy, actually, just retail, like on the floor selling dresses that summer. And then that fall, I got a job assisting a different influencer she's out on Long Island. She's a mom. So definitely like very different type of content to what I was doing. She was pregnant for a majority of the time I worked for her. It also, I guess, taught me a lot about socials. And I was like, what can I do to combine everything I love and everything I'm good at? And I was always the person like writing down everything I thought was funny, everything that literally ever happened to me. Like even in my middle school diaries, I would write stuff down like constantly. So I would look back at all of these documents and documents that I had, and I started combining them into minute-long skits and posting them on social media. And I always wanted to be like, I always wanted to write Jewish comedy and be like a cool, normal girl in media that was also Jewish. Because I think like a lot of Jewish representation is either, you know, depressing, political, or super religious. And it doesn't have to be. And I think like the reform Jewish representation is typically, and I love Adam Sandler and Larry David with my whole heart, but they're middle-aged men. And you know, if you're a 20-something or a teenage girl scrolling on Instagram, like you want to see yourself in a content creator. And I felt like there wasn't somebody who was that person yet. And so, yeah, I feel like through my sketches, I built this platform. And now I hope that I can be not only like a sense of comedic relief, but also kind of that, you know, influencer for Jewish girls.
Well, it definitely worked for us. I mean, I don't know which one of us found you first, but it was like the kind of thing where we were sending your videos back and forth, and the other one would be like, I know, I already saw that.
And mostly it's her sending my
Yeah,
mom's
usually
always
I'm
like,
late.
late
I'm always
on
late.
everything.
But
And I was like, Mom, I've already seen that. Like the
it was
camp
all-
skits, like I've seen that. Like
right,
hello.
and like a lot of the stuff that you were talking about, like the bat mitzvah parties, camp. I mean, Jenna, I mentioned that Jenna and my mom and I are all in the same sorority. We're all AFI. Jenna and my son are also third generation campers at our camp. So like,
My gosh, my heart. Where did you guys go to camp?
we went to Blue Star in North Carolina.
Awesome.
Yeah, so a lot of kids from South Florida, a lot of Atlanta kids, and now a lot of, yeah, so, but we all went there, and so it's like Jen and I went to this, we had the same experiences from camp, and everything you talked about from your camp, we're like, haha, this is so us. And the joke we have in our family is it's a co-ed camp. My son goes to the same camp, but like all of his memories were like, do you go to the same camp? Like, what are you, sports?
Yeah, I went to theater camp actually, which is so different. And it was co-ed though. Straight boys were few and far between. And it's so funny because we sent my brother there as well, and he hated it. And he is gay, but he still hated it because he's not a theater kid. And it was just a completely like different type of person. And I think you really had to kind of be a theater kid to love my camp. And like the people who loved it, like we were culty about it. My best friend, my podcast co-host, actually, like we met at camp and went to Syracuse together as well. And we like talk about camp every day. We're obsessed. We still think about it all the time. And my brother's like, that camp traumatized me. I can't believe you made me go there. And it's so funny. Like we had such different experiences.
Different. Yeah. Both of mine loved it, but it's like we did like drama, art, and like hang out. And
yeah,
he did like, he was in the playoffs, and I'm like, there are playoffs at camp?
Right. Like he did like inter-camp baseball, like.
Yeah, it's really funny. But that is how we found you. And all of your stuff was so relatable. I mean, we're 31 years apart, and it was relatable to both of us. 1986.
I think my mom also likes to live vicariously through me sometimes.
Sometimes.
So,
I don't see anything wrong with that. 1986 was the best year of my life. I loved the bat mitzvah year. It was so much fun.
Do you know, I always say, like, I am afraid that I peaked. For me, that was 2014. In 7th grade. 7th grade was awesome. And I think middle school gets too much hate. By the way, I hated high school. When people like to like give me like hate comments, they're like, oh, she's playing a teenager. She clearly peaked in high school. I'm like, no, I did not.
It's really funny. Yeah, I would not say Jenna peaked in any of those stages, but she hated high school as well. And
yeah, the bat mitzvah year was really, really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Really, I thoroughly enjoyed 7th grade. And then you come back to school and you're in your like Jenna's bat mitzvah hoodie. You know, it's truly magical. And then like it would be like, you know, if it was a bat mitzvah with that the whole grade wasn't invited to, you weren't allowed to wear it to school, because like it was like some kids invited the whole grade, some kids didn't. So
yeah, it's so great. So when you started doing this and you started talking about all of these different topics that related to us, how'd you know you had to hit? How did you know?
My first viral like video ever actually was 2020 during COVID, and it was like a complete accident, and I was embarrassed because I was a sophomore in college, and it was like I was a child actor. I did a voice part on the Wonder Pets, and there was a viral audio about the Wonder Pets, and I did this thing being like, oh, I was on the Wonder Pet mouthing the sound. And then I was like, oh, I was on the Wonder Pets. If you also voiced a character on the Wonder Pets, leave a comment or something like that. And it went viral. It had like 3.5 million views, but not because people were like impressed. It was because people didn't believe me because I wasn't one of the main characters. I didn't have star billing. So people were like, oh, no, she wasn't. Like, I just looked her up and she wasn't on the Wonder Pets. And someone was like, I scrolled further and found her IMDb. Like, people were just fighting in the comments. And so from there, I weirdly gained like, I think it was like 18 or 19,000 followers. And those were just sitting there because in college, I never posted. I never wanted to be, but there were just people who had followed me from that one video kind of blindly thinking that it was some sort of a hit. And I think what's crazy is like, I feel like I could have probably kept posting and grown throughout college, but I was embarrassed, frankly. But yeah, my first viral Jewish video was actually right before graduation. And I made a video saying that Disney's next princess needs to be a Jewish American princess and she needs to go to sleepaway camp and she needs to, be struggling with her poofy hair and wanting a nose job and like her lactose intolerant, like all of these like, little things. And that went viral. And then, that summer happened. I would post sporadically. And I feel like, October 7th made me a little bit more nervous to post consistently just because I saw a lot of Jewish people getting hate. But then I was like, okay, you got to push past this. And I started doing these little skits. I started posting 4 or 5 times a day. And the skits did well, but nothing went super viral. And then one day I did a skit with one of my best friends who she's literally a consultant. Like she's not an influencer or anything. She's just naturally like very funny. And we did a skit together that was like getting ready for the camp social and it got like 5 million views
I saw
pretty
that
much
one.
overnight.
Yes.
That was like
Totally
my
remember
OG.
that one. Yeah.
And I gained 10,000 followers from it. It was huge. And I was okay, like this is where it is. I'm going to keep going. And I kind of came on the scene at the same time as Max, as Murray Hill Boy. We really did start around the same time, which I think we transitively helped each other without even intending to. And we only met through doing socials and now we're great friends and we collaborate all the time. But it's nice because we both kind of had the same idea without even knowing. So I think, people were starting to recognize this content as being a little bit more mainstream, at least for Northeast Jews and New Yorkers. And it kind of skyrocketed from there. And November of last year, so about a year ago, I was able to start doing this full time, which is so amazing. And now I work with sleepaway camps and Hillels and all of that. But I also, have that kind of like New York influencer brand where I do work with beauty brands and dating apps and that kind of stuff.
That is amazing. And we're big fans of Max as well. You can tell him. We follow all his ZBT stuff makes me crack up because her brother is in ZBT at the University of Florida.
That is so funny. Yeah, Max is awesome. He actually just moved back to the city and we're neighbors now. So it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of like continuing on like post-grad, like I'm a senior in college, I'm about to graduate, which is like disgusting. But now that like you're back in your hometown in New York City, like what is life like for you post-grad, especially now that this is your full-time job? Like, have you continued to stay friends with people, etc.?
Post-grad, like 2 years have been awesome for me. I very much come out of my shell and found myself. I think I loved college. I had a great time in college, but I wouldn't say I peaked. I wouldn't say it was like my prime. I definitely feel like after college, you really stop caring what other people think and just do what you want to do. My best friends from AEFI, like I had my friend group, it's 4 of us. We're still best friends, but I also am like, now that we're all in the city, reconnected with like all of my camp friends. And I have literally another friend group with my 2 best friends from growing up and a girl that I just met in my building last year and we've become really close. It's really fun. I have multiple groups of friends. I have an amazing boyfriend. Like, it's like all of these things that I definitely would not have been able to juggle or have in college. Also, I lived with my parents because my parents like still live in the city. I lived with my parents for the first year and a half after I graduated, and I've lived in this apartment for about a year as well. I'm living on my own also has taught me a lot of like independence, and I've kind of grown a lot in that like I've had to like sit with my thoughts, which is definitely, you know, in college I always had a roommate and then I lived with my parents. So living alone is living alone and working for myself has definitely taught me so much about who I am. And that has been really, really awesome because I've been able to grow a lot. And also just like, you know, after you graduate, there are just so many opportunities and so many fun things to do. I'm also such like a doer. Like I don't like to just like sit at home and you know, I like to like go on little adventures and try new things.
That's awesome. And I'm so
Love that about New York.
Yes, Jenna got to live in New York last summer. She did an internship.
That's awesome.
And
That's the best.
She's still working for them now, and so we'll see what happens and if she either gets a job with them or if she uses that as a stepping stone. We'll see.
Right. That's awesome though. I'm so
So
happy for you.
she would love.
Agree.
Yeah.
Like New York City, like, there's always something new to do. Like you
Yes.
never get bored in the city ever.
And I grew up here, so I'm like so partial. I like want to be here forever.
My husband and I would like to retire there. We talk about it all because we lived there for like 2 years while he was doing training, and we love it. We love the city. I love that you know, just the energy in the city. I hope Jenna ends up there, and
Yes.
and yeah, and then maybe you guys could hang out. That would be fun.
Yes, and I'm sure, you know, I'm sure a lot of your friends as well are gonna want to move here. I feel like also, you know, as you were asking about like staying in touch with your college friends, I do feel like, you know, 80% of post-grad really people do end up moving to city, especially, I don't know how Indiana is, but Syracuse is, most people really choose New York over another city. Literally, there's only one girl in my sorority who did Boston rather than New York. And I, you know, follow her on Instagram and it'll be like her friends go to Boston once a month to see her.
I feel like Indiana's kind of split between Chicago and New York. It just kind of depends. But she's looking at a lot of positions in the fashion and beauty world. So my guess is she's going to end up in New York. Yeah.
That's so much fun.
So kind of thinking through that, I know you've done some brand partnerships, and I know you probably can't share a lot of like how those came together, but when you think about brand partnerships, what kinds of things are you looking for that you know will align with your brand? How do you know that a brand is a good fit that you want to put out on your social media with your name?
Right. Well, it really depends because sometimes, you know, they come to me and sometimes my management will pitch me. So I meet with my management every other week and we kind of compile a list of these are some dream brands that I would like to work with. These are some things that are kind of more low-hanging fruit that I think would make a lot of sense, you know, stuff like that. And so they'll pitch me out. Just for example, like a lot of my audience are those like teenage camp girls. So some of those brands that they would shop, you know, one of my favorite ads that I did was for Lactate because like, you know, Jewish people like IBS, I'm a very lactose intolerant girl. So, you know, that's always keep in mind what's on brand. And sometimes I'll get offers for things that like, even if there is money in it, I don't necessarily feel like it aligns. For example, like AI tech companies, A, have a lot of money and B, want to work with influencers, and I got an offer to promote some new AI app. I've gotten 2 offers to promote different AI platforms, and I turned them down because I felt like they just weren't aligned with my values. As someone who's a writer, I think AI really stifles creativity. I always use the example of the only thing I really used it for was like if I was hosting a party, I'm like, okay, if I'm having this many people, how many bottles of liquor do I need? Because that's just not something I'd be able to. I'm like, if each guest has 2 to 3 drinks and I'm hosting this many people, you know, and so that's
funny.
kind of I use it for.
My best friend and I, when the kids were little and we were having birthday parties, we would have to figure out how many pizzas do we need, and we'd like go through that same exercise. So we just call it pizza math. We have to do the pizza math. It's a birthday party coming up.
But yeah, as far as AI in a general sense, I'm really not someone who supports that. So I've turned down that. I also, you guys are going to giggle, I do have like a bit of a younger following. I got offered to do an ad for a vibrator company. And I think I could have done something very funny, but I also think moms would not let their 12 and 13-year-olds follow me anymore had I done an ad for a vibrator company. And I was like, you know, this could be funny. They offered me a decent amount of money and as many free vibrators as I wanted. And this was like a company that had worked with a lot of like, you know, celebrities and stuff. But I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I think they like pitched it by being like, we've worked with Demi Lovato. Like, it was like a whole thing. And I was like,
Well, that's really smart. I mean, you know your brand, you know your moral compass, you know who you are. I think that's great. So great decision. Yeah.
So back to your content, how much of what you do is exaggeration and how much is based in reality? Because a lot of things that you do that you may exaggerate on, we find relatable.
Yeah. Well, I think like, often the character I play obviously is a fully exaggerated character. As you can see as I'm talking, I'm not like, yeah, so Jake and I went behind. Like, people are like, are you like this in real life? I'm like, are you like brain dead? But it, I try to take things that are real and then turn them up a bit for the virality of it all, because you have to start, a video in order for it to go viral. Start with a hook, make it snappy. I also try to use like certain buzzwords and brand names and things like that, so it really depends. Like, for example, at camp, color war, that is something that everyone takes so seriously, but like at the end of the day, you're like 12 and you're playing tug of war. Like, you know what I mean? That's why it's I think that's why it's funny. Having like I never had like a camp boyfriend, and like it like gutted me. I was like, why don't boys like me? Like, but it's okay.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So here's a question. This one's kind of a tricky question. Has anyone in your life questioned your career choice? Like parents, grandparents, or a friend? Are they kind of like, what are you doing? Because we think it's super cool, but we're curious if people in your life give you, grief.
My parents are incredibly supportive. They're awesome. As are my grandparents, honestly. My family is great. I think, at first when you start just like posting online, people are kind of like, what is she doing? But once like people realize that like it's a very legitimate career in this day and age, that they're kind of like more on board with it. And I think it's like, when I'm very good at separating like my real life from my content. For me, like my real friendships and family and everything is so much more important to me than anything else. And so, if I'm doing something with my friends and they don't want to be filmed, I respect that. For example, like my brother hates being in content, so I, keep him out, stuff like that.
That's good. I love hearing that. And I think it's important for parents to hear as your children are making decisions. Jenna's graduating college.
So I have like such boundaries, and also it's like, some of my friends love it, and some of my friends want to be in every video, and some of my friends are like, why don't I have followers and I want to do this and it's so fun, and some of my friends are like, no cameras on me. It's like, it's really personality dependent. My best friend is an actress. She's always like, yeah, put me on camera. Like, I want followers too. Like, I also like have friends who are like, will lose my job if I'm in your video, So it's really just dependent.
Makes sense. So we're a social podcast, so we always have a couple questions about social. Your entire business is online, TikTok, Instagram, etc. Do you experience any of the negative sides of it all? I know you've talked a little bit about hate comments, and does it get to you, or how do you manage and cope with that?
Yeah, you're bound to get hate comments. Your video can hit the wrong audience. I mean, I tend to get like anti-Semitism. And it's crazy because like my videos that aren't even about being Jewish, like people will just comment really nasty things. Like, being behind a screen and a username that's not your actual name allows people to literally write slurs, and I think it's horrible. I actually had a video with Max that got probably 5 million views, but for the wrong reason. It was like all the comments were like, it was basically we were on a date and it was trying to guess if your date is Jewish or something like that, and they
I
were
love
like,
that one. It's a good one.
thank you. But yeah, a lot of the comments were like, just, ask her if she's a terrorist. Ask her if she, like, it was like all these horrible things. And we were like, this is just a funny video. Like, why are you doing this? So many really, really crazy anti-Semitic things for sure. And on top of that, I don't know if you guys know, like Reddit, there's a page where it's called Influencer Snark. And it's literally just people like ripping on influencers. I'm not on it often because like I don't have quite as many followers as like the big influencers, but like there was a post about me a couple weeks ago. They were like, this girl clearly peaked at summer camp and she's not even pretty. And then someone was like, she lives in my building and she's so annoying. I was like, hello?
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, hello, do you like, I was like, neighbor?
Wait, like whoever's in your building, oh my God, that's crazy.
to have met a very close friend in my building, but aside from her, I don't really interact with my neighbors. I was like, who? I also live in a very big building. There are like 500 apartments in my building. I'm like, who?
That is awful.
Going on? Yeah, it's like really, I was like, hello. So yeah, there's definitely stuff like that that you have to deal with. And the thing is, that's nothing compared to like some of these influencers that have millions of followers. People will be like, this ugly bitch, I'm so over her. Like her boyfriend needs to break up with her. She's a like just people have too much time on their hands and are haters. And that part of it is definitely challenging. And another challenge is that I find myself comparing myself to other influencers and content creators. And I was pitched for this brand deal and I didn't get it. This is who did get it. That sucks. But at the end of the day, like everyone is on their own journey and on their own path. And you're going to be pitched for things that you don't get or whatever it is. And it's part of life.
That's so true. Going back to the piece about anti-Semitism, I just want to say, as someone who's out there and I consume a lot of this content, I have friends who talk about the news and all of that piece of it. I appreciate that you don't talk about that and that you're just being a Jewish girl and it's kind of like the nobody wants this show. Like, yeah, just Jewish people living their lives. And it's refreshing.
Exactly. I'm glad you really understand that, because that's exactly what I want to be. And my father was born in Tel Aviv. I'm half Israeli. My grandfather is a Holocaust survivor. I'm very much in tune with Jewish history. I do a lot of research. I'm very knowledgeable on Israel and the history of Israel and Palestine, the Jewish diaspora. But simultaneously, like, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of hearing it on every scroll is, the president did this, the mayor did this law was passed, this person's not allowed to go back to Israel. Like, I'm like, I can't even read it anymore. It's all too depressing.
Sometimes we just need some comic relief. And the things that you do are so relatable to people like Jenna and me that it's just that you're just living your life.
Like, obviously so much commend the Jewish activists. Like, they are so brave and so much of their content is so, so incredible. But it's also like, sometimes it's tough to watch and sometimes you need to depart.
Absolutely. 100%. So as we start to kind of come toward the end of our conversation, I do have one question that I want to ask you. And it's because I'm her mother and I love to give her advice, but I only give it when I'm asked. I'm going to ask you.
She loves for every guest to give me advice.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you have for Jenna as she's got one more semester in college and she's applying for jobs, hopefully in fashion or beauty in New York and in the world of social media? What kinds of advice would you have for her in this moment and then also as part of her job hunt?
So lock in. Number 1, second semester senior year is so much fun. Don't waste it stressing. I spent a lot of my second semester senior year like sobbing about not getting a job when some of the most fun memories were happening. And don't let those pass you by. Don't let your last, sorority formal or your last, like, whatever it is, semester of classes or these things pass you by. As far as the job search is concerned, it's taxing, it's draining. The right thing will come to you. Work hard. You know what you're good at. You know who you are smart and capable, and don't get discouraged by certain things or certain jobs not working out. The right thing will happen for sure. Also don't compare your job search journey to others. So I had friends who like got their jobs for post grad in like November. I was like, really? The finance people already know. It's hard. But
my two best friends both already have jobs, so
no, it was
finance, right?
Yeah. Yes.
My best friend got a consulting job right like in November, December. Yeah, I had a friend who got her return offer at KPMG like literally in August, and she had a full year of school where she knew she was going to work at KPMG. And but everyone's journey is different. You're on your own path. Trust it. And also, as far as like applying to jobs, I'll give you one tip. LinkedIn Easy Apply, like they're not gonna even look at it. Like, use connections. That's like literally the only way that you will get a job. Like, if you're clicking buttons on LinkedIn, like they're not looking at that. They're looking at someone's niece's son who knows you know? So I would say if there's someone at a company you're interested in that went to Indiana University or went to your camp or something like that, shoot them a DM, shoot them a text and say, hey, I'm graduating in May. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm majoring in. I would love to hop on a call and hear about any potential openings at your company.
That's great advice.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Chloe,
cool.
before we log off, for those who aren't addicted to your content yet like we are, will you tell everyone all the places they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. The username is at Chloe Hechter. Hechter is spelled Hechter. And I actually, in my usernames, it's 2 R's at the end because some chick in Brazil stole my handle.
Rude.
I know, and she has like
account.
6 followers, and I'm like, hello.
Oh, annoying. And you just launched a spam account on TikTok too.
I did, yeah.
Which is really fun. I followed that too.
It's called Chloe Hecht Spam. And I launched that actually because I was trying to test the algorithm because my main account wasn't getting as many views for a few weeks, and I was like, what's going on? So I was trying to test the algorithm, but now I'm having fun with my spam account for sure. Yeah, and I'm also trying to get back into my YouTube. It's not going great, but I'm trying.
Okay.
And you can also shop everything I buy / want / think you should have on my Shop My account. I think it's also just at Chloe Hechter on Shop My. Definitely have a look. I've been I'll put you guys on. Free People just sent me this like cozy like Sherpa thing. I cannot take it off. It literally feels like you're wearing a blanket. It's so good, and I think it retails at like $98. No, this is a great, and they have it in like a billion colors. It's just this was the color I went for, but it's really cozy.
I love it.
I do too.
Mom?
Yeah, I got it. Chloe, we cannot thank you enough. I mean, you have no idea. This is huge for us having you. Thanks for joining us on the Social Dialogue podcast. If you liked today's conversation, be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and a review and share it with a friend.
Keep the dialogue going with us on social. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
Thanks for listening.